Hello, this is the podcast host version of George checking in one last time for the Patreon bonus intro. If you're hearing this, it's because Best Little Horror House in Philly has ended, and I'm releasing the Patreon bonus episodes into the wild. These episodes only exist thanks to the very generous support of some listeners over the years, and I encourage you all to consider supporting an independent podcast this way, or independent art in general. As I mentioned, these episodes are coming from all over the podcast timeline. You'll hear the old intro sometimes, which is kind of a yardstick, but generally I am mentioning this because it means that they will have varying levels of audio quality. As I got better at hosting, so too did the technical aspects. While I certainly wish all the episodes were of the same standard that it reached near the end, I can't go back in time, and I felt it was better to release them this way than not at all, so I hope you enjoy. Hi, everybody, and welcome to another Spotlight episode of the Best Little Horror House in Philly. Today, we're joined by returning guest, Nate Kiley. How's it going, Nate? Timed it perfectly for you to be taking a big sip.
It's going great. Took a big sip. Got some cold brew in me.
There you go. Very excited to have you back.
I'm excited to be back.
Good. It works out then. Because the movie we're talking about today is Human Centipede 2, full sequence. And your main feed episode was Human Centipede first sequence.
That's right.
We did talk about this a little bit there, but I thought it might be helpful to bring the listeners behind the curtain a little bit, recap how this episode came to be. Basically, when we were first talking about what your pick would be, your initial pitch was, let's talk about the entire movie Centipede.
The full sequence.
Exactly. All three of the movies combined into one mega episode. And that was going to be a lot of work to research and watch three movies.
Yep.
Plus, all I was working off of at the time was the reputation. So I was like, I don't know. And then on top of that, you were struggling to decide between the first two.
Yep.
And so I was like, look, let's just start with the first one, and then we can talk about going back for the others.
Yes.
And so when I was watching the first one, part of what had shocked me was the difference from its reputation. Sure, it is a very gross idea, but part of the movie is that it's very surgical, very sterile. There's lots of bandages to cover wounds, some editing around intense stuff. And so it became kind of an interesting counterpoint for me with The Ring, in that it was this thing spoken about in school in hushed whispers.
Sure.
By people too young to go see it or too scared to go see it. But while The Ring kind of exactly delivers on the promise in a direct way, and it's fucking scary, the Human Centipede has a lot going on beyond the high concept starting point. There is more going on beneath the surface than just the reputation.
The way I always describe it is that it became kind of a punchline to society, and rightly so. It's a ridiculous idea, but it's a much more classy and refined movie than everyone thought it was going to be.
Right, exactly. And another friend of mine threw their weight behind the second one as well, and said that I should probably check it out and that I would probably find it interesting. And I do. Yeah. Because this movie to me is just like the absolute cheekiest shit.
Yeah.
All of the whispers about what a Human Centipede movie might entail are here in this movie.
It feels like a response, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It feels like the director saying, okay, all right, I'll give you what you want.
It almost feels like frustrated with the reception of the first one, where it's like, if you're going to get treated like an exploitation director regardless, I might as well lean in. You wanted sick shit, you're going to get it. And he himself said at the premiere at Fantastic Fest, one lady had to be taken out to an ambulance.
I bet.
The opinions were immediately halved.
Right.
Some people hated it. Other people thought it was genius. There was nothing in between.
Yeah.
Some people see the humor in it and the intentions I have with this film. Others don't and only see the gore.
Yeah.
The film is an answer to the public. They wanted more after the first one, so I really gave it to them, really over the top, so that people can really see that it's a movie. If I get death threats because people take the first movie so seriously, this is my answer. Guys, it's only a movie. It's a roller coaster ride into the darkness. Just experience it.
He says that while polishing a Luger pistol that he keeps on his person.
I do think that It is that there's something to that though about just experiencing it. It kind of feels Warhol-esque. It's not. It's beyond categorization. You know, it is an experience.
I mean, it's the same thing that people had a problem with Freaks when it came out, and people are having problems with Art the Clown now. You know, everyone's puking in the theater, and there's something to be said for that. You know, it's not an easy thing to do.
No, definitely not. I should also say up top, while we're recapping, that at the time, I had not quite gotten to Human Centipede 3 in time for our initial recording.
Oh, okay.
But I did watch it shortly thereafter, so at this point, I have seen the whole series and am completely informed.
That was the worst one.
It was definitely the worst one, although I did think that there was some interesting stuff happening there, too.
Yeah, it's really funny, right?
There is a lot of good jokes in it.
Like, even just... like the performance from the German guy is like truly very funny. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, especially because in the first movie, the performance is so naturalistic as to be like, is this even really a performance or is it just like some weird German guy?
Oh, wait. I have a question about our last episode. I haven't listened to it recently. And I was talking to Dean about it on our stream. Did you tell me that, like, his parents are, like, really Nazi war criminals or something? And that's, like, why he looks like that? Like, I think that...
Oh, Dieter? Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Dieter, yeah.
Ancestors, like, really Nazis?
Yeah, he was like, oh, yeah, I based it off my father, and, like, he was fucking psychotic.
Yes, I knew it.
Yeah, that was fucking wild.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, right? Hey, put it into his art. As far as developing the idea, he said that he had already kind of been playing with this person imitating it idea, but the reception to the first movie also influenced the plot and the meta aspect. He said, my idea was, what is scarier than a surgeon doing an operation and creating a centipede? And I thought, scarier would be if someone did it who has no medical background whatsoever. That's even worse. So I was thinking about a fan or something, and then when I traveled the whole world for festivals and stuff, a lot of people from the audience asked me, what if a maniac out there copies your ideas? And I knew then for sure that this was definitely going to be the idea.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's genius. And I was trying to think of something comparable to it, and I really couldn't even, like some movie that references itself within the movie, that's not like a parody or a comedy or anything, and I couldn't even think of anything like it. It's so genius, you know? The guy loves his movie.
Yeah, it almost feels like the opposite of Funny Games to me.
Sure.
In that that is referencing itself and so recursive in on itself in order to be like, we are all responsible for the things that are put on screen and how that impacts our real everyday life.
It's definitely the same level. Like,
right.
Yeah, on the opposite end of the spectrum. Yeah, absolutely.
Right, and Tom here is saying, we are not responsible for what people do because this is clearly just a movie. And so if you're so fucking sick and demented as to take it seriously, then that's on you.
Oh, man.
And he's right. I have to admit, I come down more on the Tom Six side of things.
A little bit, yeah. I got some drawings to show you later, Joe. I got a big book of drawings to show you.
Cool, dude. I'm sure that will be really great. We'll put those in the show notes.
It's almost a commentary on fan culture, too. I don't think he meant that, really, but it's hard not to see that when you watch it nowadays, like people loving stuff so much. It's really interesting.
Definitely. Not only embodying it into their life, but then also twisting it and distorting it, and how, turning something that could have just been fun into something that's more of like a cudgel.
Making almost, a little book full of drawings.
Yes, exactly. Our maniac that he was discussing is Lawrence D. Harvey as Martin.
What a performance.
Incredible, really incredible. A relatively unknown actor at the time and still mostly known for this and Human Centipede 3. And he said, I was going to put up on IMDb the TV stuff and short films that I've done, but we were trying to keep my involvement a secret until as late as possible.
Wow.
I started out in performance art. My own work started out being kind of a Spalding Gray monologue at the table thing, and then went darker. I've done a lot of children's TV. I've done a number of short films. I did a series of adverts for AT&T that never got shown. And I keep getting these moments where everybody says, oh, you're going to be huge after this. Huge. And then it never kind of happens. And this is the first time that it's really sort of exploded for me.
Wait.
You know how you get huge from AT&T commercials?
Well, you could. And so, like, I'm imagining a series of commercials where, like a nice lady walks in with her stroller, and instead of Melania Weintraub there, it's this guy, and he's, like, licking his fingers.
Sweating.
And, like, staring
profusely.
at her. Like, touching his mouth a lot.
Sure. Waterproof phones.
Can you tell me
smudge-proof
about
screens.
the new contracts? He's like, yee! Oh, man. Good for him. I bet he got paid.
Yeah. And he said, initially my agent rang me and he thought it was a porn film. And he was like, I'm not sure, but these guys have been in touch and it's a lead role. So what do you think? And I said, yeah, definitely.
Man, dude, what a performance. What a character. What he just fucking swings for the fences with this shit.
It really feels like he I don't like to use this fucking dumb idiom, but he understood the assignment.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean,
he really got it.
So, like, I used to be an actor, okay? And, like, imagine doing this shit. Imagine, like, not even the Human Centipede shit. Imagine, like, being in the bed like that, in that, like, disgusting room. And they're, like, spraying you down with oil and shit. Oh, my God, dude. Just, like, brave. It's brave to do a performance like this where, like, you come
to
off
look
as,
so
like, a
deliberately
monster.
disgusting.
Yeah.
They did say that getting people to play the centipede was much easier this time, though.
Sure, okay.
Yeah. He said it was hell the first time.
Yeah.
This time, because of the cult success, we got so many actors that wanted to be in the centipede.
Absolutely.
When they came in, they immediately went on their hands and knees and started acting. We had actors that emailed us. They wanted to be in the centipede and they were willing to eat real shit.
Oh my God. Dude. Well, okay, so I guess maybe there's people out there that are into that.
Yeah, and he said we avoided the loonies. Which I think pretty smart.
Well, listen to this, George, because I think we've stumbled upon how to actually accomplish this if you were a psycho that really wanted to do this. You just have to make a movie that's good enough to get people on board for the second movie.
Dude, this is it. This is what he's been saying all along. Yeah.
I don't really want to make I just want to put I don't really want to I don't have the book of drawings. It's all just
circling back to it. It's a lot harder to tell from just the audio medium that you're cackling over there and that we're just goofing.
It's fun. It's all love.
It's fun. We're having fun. We're having fun here, folks. He said people were mostly professional except for one guy who Tom was like, yeah, he was an exhibitionist with a huge dong, so he would wait naked while everyone else put on robes.
Wow. Yeah, you can't have that if you're trying to do this professionally.
No.
And I remember from the last movie that you said something in your research. You were like, the actresses talk well about their experiences
they love it.
On the set. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that, like, we were all very professional about it. We tried to do it the right way, and, like, this is, like, a huge monumental task for acting, and it's also, hey, asting, right?
Oh!
But, yeah, I mean, it's good that, like, I mean, yeah, you can't have loonies on the set. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Ashlyn Yenny comes back for this one. I mean, that alone speaks pretty highly to how they were treated on the first one. And then, yeah, I read another interview with her and they were asking about, like, oh, would you be in the third one? She's like, I love working with Tom. I think that he has he's killed me as an actor. He's killed me as a character. I feel like the character is done. But if he asked me to come back, I would do it in a heartbeat. Sure. And so I think that level of trust and respect and enjoyment of working with someone who is working in this field. I mean, it's very easy to sort of make people feel uncomfortable when you're working with this kind of material.
Absolutely.
I think that it speaks very highly to Tom.
Absolutely.
That this is the case.
And he looks cool. He looks so cool.
You also have to imagine, I mean, like you said, not only for Martin, our main character, but this can't have been the most fun to shoot,
Of course.
one might imagine.
Wriggling around naked on the floor for a month, right?
Exactly, yeah. Lawrence said, for the guys in the segments, it must have been tough. They're going around with all this liquid, and the liquid's rubbing the dirt out of the wooden floor because it's an unvarnished floor, so they had it the toughest. But Tom takes such a boyish glee in everything, and as we were filming, Tom would go behind the camera and go, "Oh, that's so nasty." And you know he's really enjoying it.
It looks great. So, quick question. I forgot to ask you. Did you watch the black and white version or the colorized version?
Black and white.
Okay.
I did not know that there was a colorized version until it was too late.
I didn't either. I accidentally downloaded that one, and I was like, all right, I haven't seen it. I'll go with it this time. So
I'm
watched
interested to
the
hear your
colorized
thoughts.
version.
Yeah.
I think I prefer black and white. It adds a certain gravitas.
Yeah. I agree. It also helps to just distinguish it from the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, Tom responded to the conditions and just like the idea of him like hooting and hollering behind the camera. And he was like, filmmaking like this, it's so much fun. We are all like little children playing with blood and fake poop and stuff.
I bet it
But if I, of course, but if I see something like that in real life, if I see a guy bleeding on the street, I faint. I can't see that. But your own work for me is like comedy. There you go.
That's really great. That he's a baby about blood. That's funny.
Yeah. Ashlyn Yenny also commented on the conditions. She said, being on set, you would have thought this was a major studio film. We were well taken care of. Tom always has a really small crew that he works with because, one, he doesn't want a lot of people knowing what he's filming, but also doesn't need extra people on set. And so Tom had a very limited crew, but as far as the actors, it was amazing. We were treated so well on set for both films.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. And I bet it was probably easier to get some money for this one, given, you know, how much response, positive or negative, the first one got. Because, it's the same thing with the actors, right?
They say no press is bad press.
Yeah, right. Absolutely, especially these days. And it makes sense about the small crew, too.
Yeah. The movie was banned in the UK once it came out. Tom said...
Fuck them.
Yeah, right.
I can swear, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yes. We're talking about Human Centipede 2, but you cannot swear.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He said, immediately I got two strong emotions. One is like, my God, I'm up there now with Texas Chainsaw Massacre and stuff. so that was a really proud moment.
Absolutely.
And I knew for marketing reasons that would be amazing, which, true. But I was also really mad because how can you tell adults not to watch a movie? That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's from the dinosaur era. Everyone can import films, watch them on the internet. Banning is not for this time anymore. The BBFC is really promoting illegal downloading.
I mean, yeah, he's absolutely right. I think even, like, the way that we rate movies is kind of insane. And, like, banning movies, that's a little weird, and all you're doing is making people want to watch it more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's right in that, like, just like people say with guns, if you take access away, then the people are still going to be trying to get it, and then they'll just fucking turn to criminals to get it.
Right.
And in this case, criminals is the internet.
12-year-olds who want to see the Human Centipede.
Exactly. So again, I mean, I'm inclined to agree with him here.
Yeah, absolutely. He sounds like a smart guy.
The judgment also revealed a lot of the plot, which had been kept under wraps.
Oh,
and
that
Tom
sucks.
said, yeah. Right, that does suck big time. He said, at first I was mad because they go into so much detail. Everybody was like, oh no, but it also helped me. I made the joke that part one would be My Little Pony compared to the second, and now this came out and everyone went, my God, he must be right.
Yeah. You put that in your press material. The official stamped, like... pornography label.
Exactly.
Thing that
banned by the BBFC.
The man has shit coming out of his mouth. Like, yeah, that's cool.
They did actually appeal and eventually got the adults only rating after about 2.5 minutes of cuts. But this, of course, does also help with the advertising, like he said, draws people in.
Of course.
And there was a quote from Lawrence where he said, it's a classic kind of midnight movie. Like George Kushar's Thundercrack or Eraserhead or El Topo, it's something that mixes high art and low art into this kind of stew. People will go to be provoked or to be intellectually challenged because there's a layer of satire to it. People will go in groups and debate with their friends. Films aren't just something that you passively watch and either enjoy or don't enjoy. They should be things that provoke different emotions and engage you intellectually, or in this case, physically as well.
Sure.
Totally sums it up, I think, that there has been kind of like a movement towards turn off your brain and enjoy things as like the predominant way to get through media. But, you know, there is a whole world of filmic art that is not like an enjoyable ride, but is important and great, you know? I mean, Come and See is incredible, but it's not like a laugh riot.
Yeah. Even me, who loves this movie, was challenged emotionally during the movie.
Sure.
The one part that I absolutely hate in this movie, and I forgot about, was when he kidnaps two people and leaves their baby in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Bothers the shit out of me. I just don't like it.
It's intense.
I don't like hearing the baby cry. I don't like seeing it alone in the car. Makes me think of my own babies being alone in a car.
Wow.
And then I forgot that he treats it as a joke through the rest of the movie. And whenever he walks past the car with the baby in it, he like waves at the baby and it's still in there fine, but it's like alone in the car. And it truly was very funny that he got me.
Yeah. Yeah. There's 1,000 little things and any one of them could be the thing that gets someone in this movie for sure. Yeah. I couldn't find any budget information besides Ashlyn saying most of it went to effects. It did make $142,000-ish across 24 theaters at its widest, so it's not like it was in every neighborhood theater.
Nope.
Ultimately, it made about half of the original, but it's also a classic cult film. You know, you see a copy a friend has or whatever, and the audience grows.
Yeah. There's more value here than just box office. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I will say, though, that the movie series is out of print and hella expensive, which is a bummer. Yes.
Interesting.
I would love to get like a nice 3-pack of the whole thing. You know, just putting it out there. Would love for that to come back into existence.
Yeah. Oh, what's the cool thing we could do like for the Criterion Human Centipede box set?
Oh, man.
Okay, so each disc is a little drawing of a person, and it unfolds into a creepy little drawing, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I was going to say that it's like it folds up like this, but then it pulls out in either direction to like the box itself. And so there's like the cases.
That's awesome. Yeah, sure.
There we go. That was purely a visual thing. I did a terrible job describing it.
Those things that you play with in school. I'm also doing a visual thing now. Like that pattern, right? Like it folds up into like a square diamond thing and then like twists apart. I love that.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Kind of fortune teller. Is that what they were, a fortune teller kind of thing?
Yes.
So this movie starts with the death of the original Human Centipede.
Yes.
That's probably not thematically telling or anything. It turns out that this is actually a movie in the world of Human Centipede 2. And we pull out to some creepy little parking attendant named Martin.
We're in a booth.
We're classically in a booth. Doing these wet coughs. He's looking sweaty and nasty.
Touching his mouth.
Fingering his lips in contemplation of what he just saw.
I don't know if he's touching his tongue or if he's tasting his finger, but he does it a lot.
Yeah, all the above. At first, you're like, oh, he's doing that thing where you like lick your finger to like turn a page.
Nope.
No, he's just like fingering in his little gob there. Meanwhile, a young hooligan named Ian and his girlfriend, these hooligans, are locked out of their car. And when Martin goes to investigate, the boy is less than polite to Martin, we'll say. He suggests that he go home and fuck his mom, which Martin does not care for. And he shoots the boy's foot and the girl's leg to make sure they can't get away. And he smashes their head with a crowbar.
Knocks him out.
Sure does. Big shift from the sterile feeling of the first one, which we talked about a little bit already. First of all, I mean, his fucking cough alone is already so gross.
Mm-hmm. Everything's nasty. His laptop is nasty. It's held together by duct tape.
It also, I mean, he has to treat it with an inhaler every now and then. Yeah. But like, you've got this like wet cough. You've got explicit violence already as well. There was a huge build in the first one to any violence.
Right.
And in this one, it's right up top.
Right at the beginning.
Yeah. It's also shown much more directly. The dude like seizes up from the crowbar blow.
Yep.
Blood spurts, and the black and white, I think, is doing a lot to highlight it. Tom said, I wanted to 100% contrast this film away from part one. Part one has the clinical colors, and the camera work is really steady, and it's really a story of Dr. Hyder. For the sequel, I wanted a dark look, a film that's dirty, and it's all handheld.
Yeah, that's great.
And it does. Yeah. The black and white film really helps the story of Martin. It gives you a very uncomfortable feeling.
No tripods.
Right? They get right up in people's faces. I do think it looks pretty good, especially considering that it wasn't actually shot in black and white, that they desaturated it in post. I think sometimes it can come off not looking great because the shadows and stuff aren't made accounting for that in mind. But I think it looks good in this. I think probably because there's not a ton going on. There's a lot. It's very like sparse environments and stuff. So that probably helps.
A lot of just lights and darks and flashing fluorescent lights. Yeah, absolutely. I bet that does help.
He's also so left to his own devices here that he can like drop the keys, walk casually to go get the company van, then come back, tape them up out in the open and everything.
That's my other favorite part about this is just how, and I guess that is kind of there's like a kismet fate element in the first one where they kind of just show up at his door, but I love how nothing's gonna stop this from happening.
Right.
We can tell. Yeah.
It also, I think that element of it does tie into the very, very end of the movie, which I won't jump to just quite yet.
Hey,
but
no spoilers.
Yeah, exactly. But, when you look back at what has happened up to now, you go, oh, maybe things were working out that way.
Right.
So, but the real shock is also when he opens up the trunk and reveals there's already a dang guy tied up back there.
It's like 4 people. One who I don't think we ever meet.
Right. He was just fucking at movie start, chilling in the trunk.
Brunette guy. Never doesn't have duct tape on his mouth.
Oh, man. Martin rewinds his copy of Human Centipede. He pulls out his scrapbook that he's made of the movies, his book of fucked up drawings.
His cool book. His cool little book.
I mean, that's what I meant.
It's actually very cool to have a little book.
My apologies. Yes, a very cool book. And his plans to take it to the next level. He adds one more garage patron to the pile in the back, and he heads out to rent a warehouse in the middle of a dang monsoon. He loves this place. Stoked about the space.
He's doing the math. He's like, yep, this is going to work.
Exactly. And the landlord is like, hey, come on, let's get this fucking lease signed.
He's like the most terrible person you could imagine in 3 lines, and then he gets tied up and like...
Yeah, Martin is like, all right, I'm going to stab you right in the gut here, my friend.
Yeah. And he doesn't make it.
He doesn't make it. He didn't mean to kill him, and he's pissed at himself for doing this.
Come on.
Although still not a peep besides the coughing.
Yeah.
And this does persist through the movie. I do think it's interesting. Tom said, my idea was that the character would say lines from the first film, from Dr. Hyder.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
That he would like mumble these lines sometimes. But then when I saw Lawrence on the footage, he didn't speak at all, and I thought he was way scarier if he doesn't speak. It's much more threatening.
He's like Nosferatu. Like he's like going through the frame. Yeah.
Ashlyn Yenny also co-signed this. She talks about how they filmed the movie with dialogue, but as things become more dreamlike in post-production, they got removed. I do think it makes things just feel like weird. Mm-hmm. Like the fact that people are talking and he just refuses to engage on that level is uncomfortable.
Absolutely. Yeah. When you get up in someone's face and you go, what the fuck is your problem, bruv? And he just kind of like looks up at you with his bug eyes and starts coughing. It's terrifying.
Yeah, for sure. So he coughs away as he takes down a sign saying it's for rent. Then he goes inside and starts the process. But he's interrupted by a voicemail where an agent says, hey, sorry, the 2 people from the first Human Centipede that I represent are currently working on other films and they can't come audition for you. It creates this like weird dichotomy where he knows it's a movie, but is intent on bringing it into real life.
Right.
And he's seething internally.
Yeah.
So he takes it out on one of these centipede segments to be.
Would love to hear the message that he left.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Especially if he is still just utilizing all Dr. Hyder quotes and he has to somehow pull it together from Human Centipede 1.
The scene is his voice changes to a perfect LA assistant girl who's like, "Hi, we'd love to have Mrs.
Hi, this is Quentin Tarantino's office. We're really excited to talk with them.
Tarantino's office."
Also, the fact that he picked Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah. He's a movie guy, George. He's just like us.
I guess so.
He's watching movies at work. That's awesome. That's the dream.
Oh boy. Let me look in my book and write that down.
You got a book. That's cool.
Yeah,
I
got a book too. Very cool. He dreams that night about being assaulted as a child. And he is woken up by his mother coming into the room and being upset that it smells like he shit the bed again.
Because he did.
Because he did. Again.
The mom is so cool. I love her so much.
She's so funny. I've decided I'm going to kill us both. It's like, oh, okay.
Every single thing she says. Do you have a pen? Yeah, you could kill me with it. She hates him, right? Because he got her husband sent to jail.
Exactly, yes. She misses her husband.
Comic, cartoonishly evil.
Indeed. It really is very fucked up. He, for a little pick-me-up, he retrieves his scrapbook from under the bed. He strokes a picture of Ashlyn Yenny,
little book time.
The actress. Yes, exactly. Little book time, little private book time. She's still in the mix as far as quote-unquote auditioning. Mm-hmm. Before getting dressed, no shower despite the clear grime and sweat and apparently smelling like he shit himself.
Yeah.
Because he did.
He doesn't do anything. He doesn't even change his underwear.
Right.
He just gets dressed.
Goes out, meets the therapist in the living room.
Right.
This therapist eyeballs Martin's butt and moans in delight while Martin feeds his pet centipede.
It's like a David Cross character. It's he's also so cartoonishly evil.
Yeah. It is wild to watch that he's like, oh, this mentally handicapped boy has a history of sexual abuse. I'm going to start squeezing his thigh a little bit here.
Touching him during the and we already know that the mom doesn't care.
Right.
So why wouldn't he, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, just very upsetting scene. He plays with the centipede.
And mom is worried about his talk about a centipede with 12 people, and the doctor is like, could be phallic, and the bite of a centipede is extremely painful, so he's got to be connecting the pain of a centipede to years of psychological and sexual abuse by his father. Of course, easy as pie.
Yeah, that makes sense. Also, I think that this was the first viewing that I realized that they are in their living room and not the doctor's office. And when she's like, I've always thought this, but she's like, he keeps talking about a centipede. And I'm like, yeah, there's one right next to you. He's really obsessed with it. You didn't see him freak out when he fed it? It's
she was out of the room for that part.
It's clearly something he's really into.
Yeah. The feeding is truly grotesque.
Yes.
But yeah, the doctor is sure it's just a passing phase, and he's out the door.
Obviously.
Yeah, and she tells him that night, like I said, she's decided to kill them both. Mm-hmm. But they're interrupted by loud electronica playing in the apartment upstairs.
They're sitting at their gross-ass table, eating their gross-ass food silently.
Sure.
For a minute, and then she's like, I've decided I'm going to kill us both. Out of nowhere.
The real move would have been to be like the guy from Watchmen, Ozymandias, and be like, I've already poisoned this food we're eating.
Mm-hmm. That would be good.
Unfortunately, she has decided to enlist somebody else into this plan. And so she bangs on the ceiling, which draws down the tatted up goon from above. And she's like, Martin did it, which is so funny and fucked up. Oh, my God.
He wants you to turn it down.
Yeah. Tell him it's driving you crazy.
Please kill us both.
And so this guy just kicks the crap out of them while mom begs him to kill them. But Martin is pissing blood now at this point. It's gross. It's gross stuff.
Yeah. Great actor. the tatted up guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard not to imagine that he really does have those tattoos, and maybe he's led a very interesting life. But hey,
it was imposing.
Only professionals on set, right? So
exactly.
I think he's probably seems like a pretty good actor.
Yeah, probably. Back at the garage, things escalate as he kidnaps a pregnant woman and her husband, then leaves the already born, I guess, toddler, I would call this, in the car.
Yeah. I mean, baby.
It's a baby.
It's an infant.
Yeah. He heads back to his booth, and he jerks off to the scene of the doctor's triumph in the first movie, but he uses sandpaper, which is rough, pun intended.
Yes. And this is something that the doctor also brought up the psychologist brought up out of nowhere, that.
Yes.
Did you know?
Fun fact.
Playing with his glasses.
Nate's doing a great impression here of the doctor with the glasses waving. Thoughtful contemplation of the fact that sometimes people will mutilate their genitals.
There is a move where he has his hand on Martin's thigh and he's talking about how the centipede is probably just a thing, and then he puts his glasses back on to look at his watch on Martin's thigh and takes them back off and says, "Well, this is over. I've got to go." Great.
It is. It's a very even the minor performances really do feel like they didn't just like throw in whoever was willing to do it. Like they got really fun, good performances for everybody.
And so the drunk girls see him mutilating himself, but
that's right.
They laugh
in flagrante.
That's great.
We cut to both of them on the floor in the warehouse, along with the rest of the people that we've seen Martin grab thus far, and they're all lined up. He's once again interrupted by a voicemail. This time it's positive news, though. Miss Ashlyn Yenny would be thrilled to fly to London and audition for the new Tarantino movie. Thanks for asking.
I'm going to touch my mouth. He's so excited he starts touching his mouth again.
Oh, yeah, baby.
He's so excited.
One man's taped mouth comes open, and he's realized what's going on, and he's screaming about it. It's a fucking film, mate.
Great line reading.
Yeah. That night, he catches his mom stabbing the pillow that she confused for his sleeping bed, and he just ignores her and gets in.
Gets in right where she was stabbing. Yep.
Oh, my God. This is a really, impactful scene in terms of, establishing the pure level of apathy towards life that just, everybody has in this movie.
Right. Absolutely. It's weird. You almost sympathize with the mom because of how crazy he is. Before you remember that she's a monster too. But
right, she helped make him this way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Everybody in this movie is fucking disgusting. Mm-hmm. Not just Martin for sure. And she cuts her wrist a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then tears up the Human Centipede book in disgust. If that ever happened to my book, I would freak, dude.
I'd be so pissed if anybody tore up my book.
I don't even think about tearing up my book.
I don't even like talking about it. I don't even like thinking about it.
Okay.
I have no humor.
You're right.
Towards tearing up my book.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for even bringing it up. I should have skipped over this part of the movie. Our hearts are beating very fast right now. Yeah.
I'm going to go check on my book. 1 second.
Okay. I'm vamping. He's going to look on the book. Oh, my God.
Good. Book's good. We got the
book is good. Great.
Still cool.
I'm glad because I know that you have a large dog that could easily eat a book. Oh, so
my dog ate my book. I'd have to make a book out of the dog.
Famously, dogs love to eat homework. This is homework in a way.
I call it homework sometimes.
Yeah. Teacher. My dog ate my Human Centipede notes.
You're like talking to a corpse.
Oh, it's fine. Thank you, teacher.
Thank you, teacher. You want a kiss?
Okay. This is also the first real emotional outburst that we've seen from Martin as he weeps and attempts to recollect the pages. And when Mom wants that filth out of her house, he shoves her head into the centipede terrarium, and she gets frickin' chomped and then crowbarred to death, Jason Todd style, by a sobbing and furious Martin.
It's a baller move. It's a ball.
He really fucking went for it with her. Mm-hmm. The dam has broken for old Martin, for sure.
Yep.
The look through her skull as he, like, carefully positions her on the chair.
Yeah.
And then the little, like, blood gurgle is just so comically over the top.
Yeah.
It really made me laugh.
Yes.
That the little blood fountain happening in her
Her
what
sitting
was
at
left
the
of her
table
jaw. Yeah.
with a bunch of mush for head is funny.
Yeah.
Have you seen Terrifier 2 yet?
Not yet.
There's a similar moment in Terrifier 2 that made me laugh a lot. You'll enjoy
nice.
it. Yeah.
And he bangs on the ceiling again to draw down the neighbor. He gets his ass too. He's had enough.
He draws him in. He knows how to get him. He's the centipede or whatever.
Sure. I'll take that. He's the centipede. At Martin's work, Dr. Sebring and some other guy that we've never met are having sex with a prostitute, and Martin is going through some complicated emotions on account of the whole father figure thing going on with the doc. You know, he's certainly placing some fatherly emotions on him, especially as it relates.
He's just there.
Right.
And they start yelling at him. I will say, the guy we haven't met before is pretty cool, I think.
Get a fucking look, you pervert.
He smells his fingers is the first thing that he does.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And his car is dope. It's like, all I'm saying is, it's like I don't remember what car it is either, but it's like a classic like Plymouth, like 1950s like old car. It's a cool car.
Oh. Yeah, he seems like a cool guy.
I actually think it's used later in the movie because when the actress shows up, she says, that must be Quentin's car. But maybe she's talking about the landlord's car. I don't remember.
I think it was a landlord's car, which
way.
is part of why it is so hilarious to me, because it's a fucking dumper. Yeah.
But I like the new guy. I think he's cool. And I like how he yells at Martin. Get a good fucking look then. He's like Billy Butcher.
He sure is. And Martin shoots the doc in the dick and then the head, and then he collects the other two. Mm-hmm. Also, you get this darkly funny reminder of the child still in the car here, as Martin is stalking through the garage and growling, and then when he passes the kid, he like stops to make baby noises at it, and then it just cuts right back to him growling through the fucking garage. Really funny stuff. I know it is grim. And you also, don't like to see the baby, but
also but like that moment also subconsciously lets you know that like, oh, okay, we're not gonna like cut back to the baby being dead. He's fine. He's just in there. Right?
Yeah, he's vibing.
It's like part of a joke now, so it's kind of okay to me.
He goes up to pick Miss Yenny, who has arrived and is happily talking at Martin, and she says, have you seen the Human Centipede? It's so scary. I'm actually kind of a germaphobe.
And then he starts coughing.
Yeah, very funny stuff. He's hacking up a lung over there. Best moment in the whole movie for me is, when they pull up to the warehouse and you have the landlords. It's like, I mean, it's not, a dumper was maybe too mean. It's like an older Mercedes. Like a
Lincoln or a Mercedes.
Yeah.
Right.
And not something I think Quentin Tarantino would be driving. And she just looks at it and goes, that must be Quentin's car.
Everyone doing a lot of work for our guy.
Yeah, Martin is barely able to contain his delight at how well this is working out. Mm-hmm. Finger touching lips, baby.
He's touching his mouth. He loves touching his mouth.
He knocks her out too, although slightly more delicately than the others, with a flashlight and like a little bonk straight on the head instead of giant crowbar swing.
Well, she's the front.
Exactly.
You got to keep this is the moneymaker, right? The face, this is what it's all about.
Of course, plus she is royalty. She was in Human Centipede.
Right. Absolutely. She was in the middle, right? In the movie?
That's right.
So she's upgrading.
That's big improvement. For sure.
She just got to eat the slop.
Right. I also like the sound draining as he like reveals his surgical tools.
Yes.
And it's just the household implements that he grabbed earlier.
It's a bunch of fruit knives.
Yeah. Dude, I actually really love this because it's like such a great contrast to the first one. You know, it is still bringing the like terror of it, but the first one is like icy. You know, It's like the determination of the doctor, and it's this sterile environment.
It's much scarier when he starts anesthetizing them than when
Yes.
we're actually seeing the surgery being done. Right. Yeah.
Exactly. And this is very fiery. This is a passion project for Martin.
We're hearing 12 people scream as he does it. Yeah.
Exactly. Also pretty funny to have him standing there in his underwear and an open doctor's coat.
Yes, very funny.
Yeah, it's like mixed in like a non sequitorial way with the victims all like kind of wiggling away from him as well. It's great, especially, I mean, they've gotten kind of scattered around the room.
They won't stay in the straight line.
They won't stay in the straight line. And it does this great pivot from like kind of funny in a weird way to genuinely scary again as he starts walking around the room and just like smashing them on the head with the crowbar again until it's quiet. And as the voices fade out one by one, you're like, holy shit, this guy really is a goddamn lunatic. And so he starts the process, like I said. He starts with the goon from upstairs, and he hammers out his teeth, and it's so nasty.
Yes.
They don't show you the first one, and you think, oh, maybe we'll get away without
We'll just
having
watch
to
his
see
face
this.
while he knocks everyone's teeth out.
Right, not the case.
And
they fucking tricked your ass.
What an effect, man!
Oh, dude.
Oh man, he is knocking out every single one of that guy's teeth with a hammer.
It's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, and I don't know how he did it. Like, I don't know how they did that. That was really cool.
It is. It's very close up. It's once they cut to the mouth, it stays there.
Yep.
It's really great stuff. And I also noticed in the close up where you can see Martin's hand that he's got like the little Roman numeral indicators written to keep track of how many people he's kidnapped so far.
That's cool.
It's like, oh,
like
Martin. Yeah. Yeah, and it only continues to get grosser. I mean, once he's knocked the teeth out, he's having to pull them out of the like pooled blood in the mouth. You're just like, fucking Christ.
It also seems like he doesn't finish everyone, right? Mm-hmm. Like he just gets so tired of having to do it that he's just like, I'm just gonna start stapling them together because this is fucking taking forever.
Dude, he did not expect it to have to require that much time. Right.
He wants it done. And I can relate to that. You know, I don't want to do the project. I just want to have the piece of furniture done.
This is famously why they say measure twice, cut once.
Yes, absolutely. And I don't think Martin
measured it all.
You tell him that, and he just starts touching his mouth. Guess he gets it. I don't know.
I guess. Talk to me, Martin. The pregnant woman seems to have died, but the baby's heartbeat is still going, and he just like sticks her under a tarp in the corner.
Puts her with the other dead guy.
Next, we get the kneecap cutting. Also very gross. It's just like, it's a lot, dude. It's a lot happening at once.
That got the hand in front of the screen for me.
It's
hard to make me do, but
I
that got the hand in front of the screen for me.
Reaching under the kneecap and pulling it out to
I can't deal with that. And I don't think that's what he does in the first movie. I feel like he like cuts the back of their knees or something.
I think that's right.
I think he's just
fucking.
What is Martin doing? Like,
he's spiraling, dude. He's
spiraling.
Got
his drawings. Why is he?
He doesn't have it anymore. His mom ruined it.
That's what it is. He doesn't know what he's doing anymore.
He's operating off pure instinct at this point.
He just wants to get it done.
That's right. And then he hits a stumbling block when he starts to make the butt cuts, and it just immediately kills the guy. So funny how quick it's like a huge gap in his butt, and then blood pouring out. and Martin is weeping like a child. He does gather himself to continue, but you do get this look at sort of like
it's not going to be perfect.
It's not going to be perfect. Also, just like the arrested development that he's in. Like, he is basically like a child.
He's a child having a tantrum, right?
Yeah. Time to start stapling mouths to butts, which is easier than cutting and risking death.
Yes.
Finally, they're all assembled, I guess. And he takes a deep hit off the inhaler, then dances as the screams turn to classical music in his mind.
He does his little dance, his Joker dance.
Does, yes. Rock and Roll Part 2 by Gary Glitter starts playing. He's doing the full stairway walk. Now he's crying tears of joy as they walk around him in a circle.
He's so happy.
He's stoked. It is ineffective, but Ashlyn did get the honor of being the front, as we said. He feeds her a can of cold chili con carne from a bowl of a dog bowl.
You know, George, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt. I am noticing some disturbing parallels between myself and Martin. I don't know if you've been watching.
Just now?
Just now. It was a cool book aside. So on our Twitch streams recently, we've been watching movies, but we've been also like trying to make the movies real. So we like wear cowboy hats when we watch Bone Tomahawk. We wear army helmets when we watch Fury, and it's just I get so happy when I can make the movie real and when I can do the stuff from the movie.
Right.
So I get it. You know what? Honestly, I get it. I'm right there with him.
This is why you famously eat chili con carne out of a dog bowl frequently on stream, right? It's always just your little homage.
It's because of the movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Heartbreak
somehow
good.
Cold chili con carne feels good in a place like this.
Yeah, is Nicole Kidman weeping while she's watching The Human Centipede 2?
Oh, man.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, that would be way better if that was the movie on screen while she was doing that.
But yes, making the movie real is good. It makes me happy.
And I will say, at least it's human food. Mm-hmm. You know? Like, it could be worse, I suppose. Be worse.
You could be eating poop straight from a butthole.
Yeah. Or even just, like, dog food or something. Like, silver linings is what I'm saying.
Like, it's like a new bowl. It's, like, clean.
Yeah, well,
when he set the bowl
clean
down,
in quotes.
Well, honestly, like, it looks like he just bought it, and it looks like maybe the only clean thing in the movie is the dog bowl.
I don't know. I think I saw him grab it the same time he pulled the funnel out, so
yeah.
I think that's got Martin house filth on it.
It's his bedpan. That's his poop.
Oh, God. They don't even have a dog. What the fuck is that bowl for?
That's what I mean. I think he went out and bought it. It's like still got the tag on it.
Yeah, there you go. He's ready to return it in case things don't work out.
Yeah. Which they don't. He has to use the funnel.
Yeah, exactly. She hurls it to the side. He grabs the funnel. You get these upsetting noises for sure as he pours some kind of soup down there, and you hear everybody's digestive system start to act up.
Mm-hmm. And he also, like, almost pulls her tongue out, right? When she's, like, yelling or something.
So he gets another voicemail. He's interrupted by this with a voicemail. The other two actors were able to reschedule, and they would love to come audition for Mr. Tarantino.
It's so funny.
And so Ashlyn is screaming the whole time that he's trying to hear that. So, yeah, he uses some pliers to rip her tongue out in retaliation here. And he started trying to speed things up. He wants to see them eating shit. And so he's rubbing their bellies. He's making farting noises at them.
It's not happening.
Somehow, the fart noises didn't precipitate their shitting. I can't imagine that.
What could be? Why could they not be doing it? I wonder why.
I don't know. Who can imagine? And so he injects a huge amount of laxative into them instead. Yep. This
with like
finally
a
works.
Baster needle.
Yeah, pretty much. It looks like in Reanimator when he's got like the huge thing of reanimating goo.
Yeah.
Except it makes you shit this time.
Yep.
And this finally works, and he's stoked.
He's
and
so
there's
happy.
Shit spraying everywhere.
They start farting, and he goes like, "Ooh, ooh."
Yeah,
like,
and he's making the noise too. Yeah, he's making fart noises at him still, laughing. Although the smell does eventually make him puke as well.
And he hates it. He's like, why does it smell? Oh, man. I wouldn't think the smell
too real
would have been
for
part
him.
of this.
Yeah. Tom said, for me, it's a Mel Brooks scene, like Blazing Saddles.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. But for other people, it's so serious and disgusting. It's just in the mind of the viewer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Lawrence agreed as well. He said, when I read it in the script, I thought of Brian Usna's Society, how it's so satirical and scatological and ridiculously funny. It's the comedy highlight of the month, no, the year.
Yeah, okay. All right, yeah, I agree.
There you go. Although I will say, it's easy for him to say as the one who didn't have shit spraying all over his face.
But remember, they were all psyched about it. They really wanted to do it.
So, yeah, I guess so. Next, he wraps his junk in barbed wire, and he rapes the woman at the back of the centipede.
Is hard to watch.
It is. It's very hard to watch. He wants to have sex with his creation. This was actually the one scene cut for the U.S. release. The theaters that it went into didn't have this scene. I thought it was funny that he was like, these Puritans are so sensitive when he's making a movie that is deliberately upsetting and shocking.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Although, honestly, on the other hand, you're like, at this point, it's just another drop in the bucket of insane awfulness. So I guess I see his point as well, because it's like, does this really distinguish itself so much from the rest of the movie?
Right.
Like, it's all fucking terrible.
Yeah. Even if it's cut, you don't really lose a whole lot.
Yeah, right. You're not like, finally, this guy's a stand-up citizen. Over at the tarp, it turns out the pregnant lady wasn't actually dead.
Yep.
She makes a break for it, and so does her water.
Yep. Hey, that's funny, George.
Thanks, man.
That's funny, dude.
Felt good about that one coming into it. She does get into the Mercedes that was outside. Key is still in the ignition, which is lucky. And she tries to start it while Martin tries to get in as the rain pours outside. And she stops to deliver the baby, which slips into the area at her feet and gets its head crushed by her slamming on the accelerator. Again, this is a very personal preference kind of moment. To me, it is, again, so over the top as to be comical.
Yes.
I can understand why people would be upset at it.
Very upsetting.
Yes.
But she gets away.
She does.
She makes it.
Very unexpected to me that she manages to get
Leave him standing there with his dick in barbed wire.
So funny that he is standing there wailing and has to stop to put his dick away. I mean, look, say what you want about the movie, but there are some really good jokes in it.
Yes.
And inside, the Human Centipede itself is coming apart. The goon from upstairs tears himself off the guy in front of him, which infuriates Martin, and he just domes the entire group that got pulled off.
Martin keeps that MFing thing on him.
You know he keeps one in the chamber.
And he walks over and empties his clip into six different heads.
He sure does. Meanwhile, Ashlyn reaches the light switch, and when Martin goes to turn it back on, she hurls the centipede at him, kind of ineffectively, if I'm being honest. Although I respect the effort. Mm-hmm. And he shoots the back segment on this one as well, but he's out of bullets now, so he takes to it with a knife. And he can't bring himself to kill Ashlyn, though. So she takes advantage of the hesitation. She does a volleyball bump right into his nuts. Very fun moment. Yeah. Second movie in a row, including Castle Freak, that has a nut shot in it.
Oh, nice.
How about that?
Great thing to put on film. People love seeing people get hit in the nuts.
People love it. People love it. And I loved it, too. He hits the dirt, and she grabs the funnel from before. She shoves it up his butt. She sends the centipede in there to get chomping.
Good for her.
Good for her. He does stab her through the extreme agony and manages to make his way to the van as the camera is locked down on the grisly remains of his experiment. We cut to. He's in the parking garage, fingering his mouth again. He's watching the end of the movie.
He's chilling.
He is truly Jay chilling in there. Great ambiguous ending, because it seems like maybe it was all his fantasy to escape his hellish life, but then you also hear the crying of the baby, and maybe it was the one that he left down there.
I think he survived the centipede.
Wow.
And it's just chilling in there now.
Wow.
And he just went back to his booth, and he's gonna try again.
See, I do think that there is an element of that, like an internalizing the centipede and everything.
Yeah.
Ashlyn Yenny says she considers it to have been a dream.
Interesting.
Like I said earlier, there are some elements of it just kind of like working out in a way that seems almost fantastical.
Right. He's just in there thinking about this every day.
Yeah.
And we're watching him do that. Right.
Yeah. And I think that the fact that we can't say for sure is itself a success and a comment on how people react to the movies. I think it's great. I really do. So now we've reached the part of the episode, Nate, where we don't necessarily have to sum up why it is the best horror movie ever made. But we are going to talk about why it is an interesting movie and why it merits discussion.
I think because of the meta aspects of this movie, we still do have to talk about why it's the best. This is my Human Centipede 2 is my Human Centipede. I'm the next guy. I am the guy now.
Wow. Look at me. I'm the Martin now. Uh-oh. He's fingering the lips, folks. All right, yeah, so I'll let you start us off. Tell us why it's the best horror movie ever made.
I mean, Human Centipede is the best horror movie ever made. I love watching it in booths. I love watching it at work. I love watching it when I'm supposed to be watching my kids. They're fine.
Probably.
Martin is like one of the coolest little guys out there. I love him. I love how much he cares about movies. I love that he loves cinema.
He is a real cinephile, isn't he?
Yeah, I love that he makes the movie real. We talked about that. That's something that I can relate personally to. Everyone is very funny. I love that everybody's on board. I love how cool Tom Six is. That is a scene that should be in this movie where Martin meets Tom Six, and it's just they just like go out and have like a cool night together.
Martin and Tom hit the town.
Yes. And so, yeah, I do. I think that this is the greatest movie ever made, and I will make it real. And, you know, I got a cool book.
Great. Well, there you go. I will legally distance myself from that. even with the clear joking nature of it. But
you know, parody, whatever.
Right, parody. To me, this is the best horror movie ever made because it is truly horrific. It really puts the horror in horror movie. I think that it fully springboards off of the first one in a way that is genuinely remarkable. It takes your own expectations of the first one, leverages them against you, creates a world that is horrific, grimy, dirty. Everybody sucks in it. The fact that it is able to be funny while also doing that is shocking. It is genuinely shocking because it is so intense. I think that this is maybe the movie that, not including movies that actually feature real animal death, this is the one that makes me feel the most uncomfortable.
Sure.
Because it is truly, I mean, like, I don't want to say that it's like hitting the checkpoints or like the check marks as like a negative thing. But like, if there's something that makes you feel uncomfortable, it's probably in this movie. like it is truly hitting them all. And so whatever you're looking for in terms of like an exploitation catharsis, you'll get it from this. It is bloody. It is shitty in the like fecal matter-y kind of way. It's sweaty. There's fucking lip touching.
Bad somehow.
You can smell it through the screen. Genuinely, I don't know how that happened. Smell-o-vision is back, baby. There's even moments of what's happening here that truly feel like throwing it back and homaging the very start of horror in an interesting way to me. You know, the black and white makes it feel very throwback on its own. But then also, I think that Lawrence looks a lot like Peter Lorre in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
The bug-eyed nature of it, the short stature and everything. And, you know, in movies like M, which that movie is fucking incredible, basically invented the police procedural. And it's about Peter Lorre being like a child rapist and murderer. Right. And how, like, even the town's criminals have to, like, work with the police because they're like, this dude is too bad.
Right.
And things are shutting down in the town. And to me, this is kind of like a remake of M, almost.
Sure. He's a monster. Right.
He is a monster. He is capturing the spirit of someone who is driven to do these acts. You know, it's obvious that he had a fucked up childhood, that you're like, my guy never really had a chance, and for him this is, like I said, instinct. He's operating off of instinct at this point,
right?
And to me, that captures a very similar feeling to M.
Yeah, I like the comparison. Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah, except you actually get to see him committing the heinous acts this time.
Right.
So there's the exploitation
This is the prequel
aspect
to
of
M.
it. Right, yeah. And I do think that's really interesting to take something that has become something very prestigious, you know? Oh, it's a German expressionist film from the early 30s, and isn't that fucking highfalutin? And it says that is a horror story too.
Yeah, right.
It was once very scary.
Right.
And here is what that looks like. So yeah, I love that about it. I think it's really interesting. The meta nature of it is really cool. I think it's doing a lot, and it is so effective at doing what it wants to do. So it's the best horror movie ever made.
And you're reading from your book.
And I'm reading. I wrote all of this down in my book.
in your cool book.
I unfortunately cannot show the pictures to the screen because
I keep it in a plastic bag.
Right, private, very private, private book. But I'm reading this from it.
Like a big shopping bag I found.
It looks like there's something leaking out of that bag too. But
No.
Oh, okay.
Nah.
Cola? That brown liquid is cola?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, look, I know that we're not compelled to say that this is the best horror movie ever made on this feed, but breaking down my own kayfabe a little bit, I do think it is really interesting.
Yeah, it's great.
And if people have even slight interest in it, I recommend checking it out.
Yep.
You know, I know that it can be difficult to get through a movie like this for someone who is maybe not into this sort of thing.
You just do what Big Nate does. You throw the hand up.
Throw the hand in front
Throw
of
the
there.
hand up. It's fine.
You'll be fine. And like I said, I think that it does kind of break beyond the good or bad illusion of choice there and becomes its own experience that is just wild. It's a trip.
Absolutely.
All right. That's it, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us. Nate, you want me to tell people all your plugs and stuff?
My plugs, you can come by and check out my cool book. No, don't do that.
Now available on the Nate and Dean stream.
We're doing cool book night on the Nate and Dean stream. Yeah, check out the Nate and Dean stream. Come give us a follow. We watch movies in October. We're going to go back to gaming because we're gamers. We do funny stuff. Dean is there also. He's a cool guy. You should have Dean on this show because he hasn't seen a lot of movies.
Yeah,
and so
to hear his choice.
Yeah, if you want something where you want to hear somebody experience it for the first time, Dean is a good choice for that. He often brings a unique perspective.
Interesting.
And then I also have the Friendsman podcast. We're in an extended Friendsbatical right now, but we're going to bring it back. We're going to talk about Friends some more, so come check us out.
It sounds familiar. No, I highly encourage people to go check out both of those things, but especially Friendsman is very near and dear to my own heart.
Oh, yeah.
Because not only do I have a big soft spot for the TV show Friends, but also my and your good friend JP is one of the co-hosts as well.
The man.
And the man JP, exactly. He is also one of the co-hosts on We Heard About Pluto, which is a show that he and I do together with our friend Reegs.
That's right.
So a lot of fun over there on the Friendsman feed.
Man, you got a bunch of books. You got a psych book. You got a Friends book. You got your cool book.
Wait until you see the fourth book where I combine them all. I'm making a large Human Centipede with the cast of Friends and
That's great. I like that.
And then tack on the psych cast as
well. I have a famous tweet after we did our first episode. I tweeted what the order of the Friends Human Centipede would be.
Exactly.
And I don't remember what it is, but it was very funny.
As always. And if people wanted to see it, what would that Twitter feed be?
Natorious. I don't know how to spell it. Big Nate on Twitter, or you can search for the Friendsman Pod Twitter account. I think they'll also have it.
Boom. There you go. So go do all that stuff. This is the Patreon, so you're probably already doing all of the stuff for my plugs. But just in case, follow Little Horror PHL on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, all that jazz. I guess my only plug is go check out the Human Centipede series because they're fucking wild, dude.
Yeah. And I'd very much like to come back and talk about the third one at some point.
All right, boys. We'll see. We'll see what people say about this episode. If they're like, we don't want to hear any more about Human Centipede.
Good, Nate.
you and your little books over there, they're all fucking like, what?
We don't want to hear about the worst one.
So, hey, for real, if you're listening to this and you're like, I want to hear about the third Human Centipede, comment. Let me know because you can make it happen. All right, everyone. Thanks. Bye.
Goodbye.